This week's readings talked about employment and social media. Some of the readings stated that employers should not go snooping through potential hires' social media profiles. I think that employers should have every right to look through their current and potential employees' posts on social media. So, with the incredible advancements in technology over the past few decades, we now have the ability to carry around smartphones, which are essentially little computers. On those little computers, the majority of people in society are glued to their multiple social media accounts. Technology and social media can be our biggest ally. Social media is a great part of our lives because we're allowed to connect with people. Humans by nature need connection, and social media grants us that. We're able to connect with friends and family, but also with people all over the world. It's great for information. In a Forbes article, Will Facebook Replace the News Media? It was stated that today almost two-thirds of the American adult public get news from social media, with 44% of the public getting its news from Facebook alone. Technology and social media can also be our greatest enemy. Information we get from social media must always be fact-checked or researched further because fake news and misinformation have been real problems lately. Also, fake profiles are more common, more than we'd like to think. There's even a show called Catfish dedicated to that issue. Aside from the romantic failures in Catfish, fake profiles can be used by online predators looking to take advantage of people. Social media also tends to be extremely narcissistic. People everywhere use it to post every little detail of their lives, airing grievances, or using it as their own personal soapbox to spout their religious or political views, and this is where many can get into trouble with their jobs. Image is everything. For many, when you go into an interview, you get all dressed up and make sure that you look like the best version of yourself. This is pretty much standard practice, but as the article, How Social Media Content Hurts Job Seekers, stated, many people do not take into account their digital presence. So when you're scrolling down your newsfeed in college, you see plenty of people posting inappropriate pictures from their wild weekends out. On occasion, I've also seen older relatives complaining about their jobs or their bosses. Posts like these are harmful to your digital presence because employers should have the right to look at your social media profiles and see exactly who you are. Employers probably appreciate that you took the time to get all dressed up for the interview, but they want to see the real you. Looking at the material you post on social media is essentially an employer's interviewing tool. They want to see what makes you tick and, more importantly, who they are bringing on to represent their company. On your profile, they could find information that you may not have offered up during an actual face-to-face interview. Many employers aren't going to be crazy about hiring a wild frat boy, a crazy party girl, and people should take that into account when posting on their social media accounts. They're not going to want to hire someone who makes ignorant comments regarding race, religion, or politics for fear that it'll reflect poorly on the company. Employers are also going to want to know if you're the type of person to air all your grievances online. Are you going to disparage them in the company for all your friends to see? Companies, employers do not want to be looked upon in a negative light because of something that an employee posted. They have the right to know who you truly are before hiring you. There are those who would argue that an individual's right to free speech is guaranteed and should apply to social media too. In the USA Today article, Social Media Free Speech Rights Complicated for Workers, the author asked, do employees have free speech rights to publicly criticize their bosses or workplaces, especially in the social media age when venting on Facebook or Twitter has replaced the traditional complaining around the water cooler? To this, I feel strongly that the answer is no, and employers have the right to look at your profile and make sure that you're not doing just that. When you're looking for a job or working for a company, you're bound to a social contract. A social contract, as defined by the dictionary, is an actual or hypothetical agreement among the members of an organized society or between a community and its ruler that defines the limits, the rights and duties of each. Sorry about that. This essentially means that you're giving up some of your rights. For example, the right to say whatever you want about the company or your employer for the greater good. As Rousseau theorized, you have to give up some of your rights for protection. In this case, the protection being discussed is the stability of a job would offer. The theory of a social contract goes along with the utilitarian approach to ethics. Utilitarian ethics is an ethical framework that justifies actions or behaviors that, according to the article, A Framework for Ethical Decision-Making, states provides the most good or does the least harm. Hiring someone with a poor digital presence can be harmful to the company and existing employees. Screening employees or potential hires' online presence is important for the greater good of the company. So to wrap this up, I think that employers should be allowed to screen your social media profiles before hiring you and while you are an employee, because they should know exactly who they're going to be working with, as well as looking out for the greater good of their company. Here are some references, and that's all I had for today. Thank you.